Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, especially to Miss Jenny. So, today we are going to talk about how Agensi ANTI-DADAH Kebangsaan, which is known as AADK or NADA, manage drug-free nation. So, I am Dania KEISARA binti ROSMAN and my student ID is 2022619304. And this is my group mate. So, we are begin with 1.0, which is introduction. As you guys know, drug is a common thing in our life. I believe that everyone know what is drug, but maybe they don't know the detail about drug. Drug is taken from French word drogue, which means dry herbs. It is come from plant source. Did you guys know who are easily influenced to take drug? It is men. Statistics also show that male who are easily influenced to take drug. Day by day, amount of drug addicts in Malaysia are getting increased. There were 19.7 thousand males in Malaysia who had at least one recorded drug offense in a year. We all know that drug can be used in many ways, such as medical and scientific manner. Example, Panadol, or maybe in our daily medicine. Drug also come in three basic form raw plant, like cannabis or mushroom. Next, refined plant like heroin and cocaine. Do you know why people taking drug? It is because they want to relieve stress. Taking drug can make them forget about their problem. Other than that, to explore. Some teenagers love to explore new things without knowing the consequences. Besides, peer pressure. It is like you do something because you want to feel accepted and valued by your friend. To reduce amount of drug addicts, our country introduced AADK. AADK or NADA was established on 7 February 1996. The main reason why it is established because they want to rehabilitate drug addicts, besides to prevent drug addiction, relapse and drug abuse.
Hello, my name is Nur ALIA AFIQAH binti AZLIZAM. I will talk about issues.
Although Malaysia is not thought to be a manufacturer of illicit drugs, the Golden Triangle's closeness to the nation has led to high levels of heroin, stimulants similar to amphetamine, and other illicit drugs use. Opium usage was common in some immigrant groups throughout the first half of the 20th century, and the British colonial administration introduced the Dangerous Drug Ordinance and Poisons Ordinance in 1952 as a result of increased public awareness of the dangers of drug use. The primary goal of the ordinance implementation was to criminalize all drug users, producers, distributors, and traffickers in order to outlaw drug usage. However, despite numerous revisions and amendments giving law enforcement agencies more authority and latitude, the number of drug users and crimes related to drugs has risen steadily over the course of the second half of the 20th century. Between 400,000 and 500,000 people were allegedly using drugs in Malaysia in 2004, according to published media reports, which was in line with the 350,000 figure put forth by the government's drug enforcement agency. So, once they began putting them into practice in 2005, Malaysia's stakeholders have successfully expanded harm reduction services across the nations. In the upcoming years, an improved response to drug issues in Malaysia will be possible thanks to national-level commitments from public health officials as well as rising interest from prison administrators, drug dependence specialists and law enforcement representatives in conjunction with sizable investments from international organizations including the Global Fund. To further enhance and sustain the Malaysian response, a number of significant legal and policy issues must yet be resolved. Then, there are two features of drug. It is physicals and psychologicals. Physicals dependence is a situation when the addict's body, after ceasing drug use, reveals withdrawal symptoms. When an addict stops using drugs for a set amount of time, they experience specific signals in their physicals and behavioral states known as withdrawal symptoms: stomach pains, vomiting, diarrhea, and shivering are only a few indications of physical dependence. Psychological dependence is a condition whereby addicts are high or crave drugs in order to function normally and find serenity. When the typical doses of medications taken were no longer satisfying or alleviated with withdrawal symptoms, drug tolerance increased. In order to have the same amount of relief and enjoyment, drug dosage must be increased. As reliance increases, the body responds to recognizable symptoms when drug supply is abruptly cut off.
This is several types of drugs.
Impact drugs on society. The damage caused by drug abuse and addictions is reflected in an overburdened justice system, a strained healthcare system, lost productivity, and environmental destruction. Next, impact drugs on private sector. Drug abuse is a threat to the well-being of millions of the world's working people. It is also a force that acts globally to distract from the productivity, safety, and success of local, national, and international business. It includes the abuse of illegal drugs, psychoactive pharmaceuticals, alcohol, and other substances that people use for mood-altering effects. In recent decades, we have seen increasing private sector actions aimed at reducing drugs problems both in the workplace and in the surrounding community. The effects of impact drugs on government. Abdullah and Iran in year 1997 and Wiener in 1986, two researchers who have written about this issue, share the opinion that smuggling activity takes place at the nation's borders virtually daily. Other than that, Ismail Ahmed in year 2001 asserts that the distribution of drugs and drug smuggling activities are significantly expanding every day. The integrity of Malaysia's national boundaries is in jeopardy as a result of successful border crossing smuggling syndicates.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is YASMIN binti FEZLY. Is planning. Planning is a basic management function which involves deciding in advance of what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and who will do it. The government is responsible to make some planning in order to ensure that the problem of drug abuse, especially among the youngsters, are always under the control. In our country, in Malaysia, institutional treatment and rehabilitation program for drugs addicts has started since 1975. This program was under the Ministry of General Welfare. This is because drug addiction has considered as a social problem in that year. Our government plays a really big role in order to help the National Anti-Drugs Agency to aim and achieve its goals. Government's planning has stated that starting from 1983, all the drugs addicts will be isolated and will be given a treatment in a place called Serenity Center. Serenity Center was built by the government in order to help people who's involved in any drug abuse. This place emphasized two aspects, which is works and discipline. All of the recovery inputs such as new facilities, shelters, medicines, and counselors will be served by the government and responsible authorities. Here are some advantages and disadvantages of planning. For the next subtopic, 4.2 Organizing. What is the meaning of organizing? Organizing is the way some work is arranged and allocated among the members of the organization so that the goals of the organization can be effectively achieved, or to ensure that there are physical and human resources to carry out the plans of the organization. In 2007, the government has introduced Agensi Anti-Dadah Kebangsaan AADK, or it's called the National Anti-Drugs Agency NADA, to work as an official agency under the government. It focused to control drug cases from keep increasing by giving service and treatments for addicts through law enforcement. This agency eradicating drugs by giving treatment and rehabilitation and also focus on three aspects, which is first, prevention, second, enforcement, and the third one is security. There are various types of plans and programs that was organized by the government in order to spread awareness about effects of drug abuse, especially among the students or teenagers. The first program, it is called Program Intellek Asuhan Rohani Pintar 2.0. The goal of this program is to build self-resilience and enhance awareness among level 2 primary school adolescents that age 10 to 12 who have been recognized as being at risk of engaging in substance misuse. The next program that the government has provided or organized, it is Sayangi Hidup Elak Derita Selamanya or SHIELDS. This program was held to raise self-awareness and resilience in students aged 13 until 18 who have been identified as being at risk of drug usage. The third program that was held by the government is Program ANTI-DADAH by Agensi ANTI-DADAH KEBANGSAAN AADK. Since the use of drugs and cigarettes are common among the students, especially teenagers, this program was held to educate college students about the detrimental effects of smoking and drug use on their physical and mental health. Additionally, general information regarding this illegal chemical was shared with the pupils, including its composition, potential risks, and addictive qualities. For treatment, medicinal and rehabilitation division, ways of recovery in Malaysia. As we know, every addict is required to undergo treatment and rehabilitation under the Drug Addiction Act 1983 and Amendment 1998. These recovery services are available in 28 serenity centers that can fit still more than 10,000 people across the country. Addicts are all placed under the supervision and responsibility of rehabilitation officers. Next, the treatments and rehabilitations provided by the National Anti-Drugs Agency, NADA. The treatment and rehabilitation programs include medicine and detoxification therapy, physical training and formation of military-style discipline, counseling, religious guidance and morals, civic and political education, skills training, sports and recreation, and reintegration into society. These kinds of methods were more likely to force someone in order to help themselves to heal. These are some of the pitch that was taken in Serenity Center. Next, I will pass to the next representative.
Hi, my name is AINUR ELIYANA binti Muhammad BAKHTIAR. Today, I would like to present about decision making. Decision making is the process of making choice by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolution. From the picture, we can use step-by-step decision-making process. For example, 1 is identify the decision, 2 gather information, 3 identify alternative, 4 weigh the evidence, 5 choose among alternative, and 6 take an action, and lastly review your decision. This approach increases the chance that you will choose the most satisfying alternative possible. The next is decision-making strategy done for managing the problem by ministry. This is explanation of some provision of the law will provide an overview of the position in Malaysia. The first is Section 3 of APD. It for a person who is suspected of being a drug addict can be detained by a rehabilitation officer, and addict who is detained under custody can be detained for a period not exceeding of 24 hours in any suitable place to undergo the necessary tests. Lastly is controlling. Definition of controlling. One of manager key responsibility in control. a manager must exert effective control over the activity of the subordinates if they are to produce the anticipated result. In other words, a controlling function ensures that an organization actions are carried out in accordance with the plans. Controlling also makes sure that resources are utilized effectively and efficiently for the accomplishment of definite objectives.
The next slide is controlling strategy done for managing the problem issued by ministry. One is the Pharmacy Enforcement Division of the Ministry of Health. Second is National Anti-Drug Month organized by NADAH. Third is conducting patrol and raid in areas where the drug dealers are dense. Advantages of controlling. The first is control minimize wastage. Control help to reduce the wastage of human, material, and financial resources. This increase the profit of the organization. Second is control ensure optimum utilization of resources. It means control help the organization to make optimum utilization of the available resources. This also increase the profit of the organization. Third is control help to fit responsibility, which can help to control the field responsibility of particular job on a particular person or a particular department. So, if there are any mistake, then a particular person or a particular department will be held responsible for it. The next is control guide operation. Control fits certain standard. All the work has to be done according to this standard. So, control is actually like a traffic signal. It guides all the operation for the organization in the right direction. The lastly is control motivate employer. In control, the employer performance are evaluated regularly. Those who show good performance are rewarded by giving them promotion and cash prize. This motivates the employer to work hard, and it also improves their morale.
We are back with me, Dania. As I said before, drug addict become a general thing in our community. We can see or heard about it everywhere. As a citizen, we need to be part of AADK and helping them to prevent drug addicts in Malaysia before it become worse. We also know that prevention is better than cure. Our generation are the future of our society. To see them fall into this dark pit of drug addiction is the last thing that we fear. We need to help all the drug addicts without judging them. Delaying the treatment worsens the case. That's all from us. Thank you for watching and listening.